so I've been home for 7 years. I think I've said that probably 100 times, but I still can't believe I've been able to be home with her for 7 years. But it's time for a change. So let's see how this goes. I'm only working 2 hours a day and volunteering at Mila's school the rest of the time. I am so excited for my first paycheck. It's probably going to be, I'm making like less than $200 a week. So bi-weekly, I'm probably going to get like $300, maybe close to $400. And it may not sound like a lot, but it's more than I was allowed to spend when I was married. And yes, I say allowed. I made decent money, and I wasn't allowed to touch it. It went into our joint account, and if I spent anything, it would ping to his phone, and I would get a call before I even made it home. As soon as our checks were going into our joint account, he said I was yeah, spend, it's our money. But what he did not align with the beautiful words that were coming out of his mouth. He said, yeah, spend whenever you need to. But when Mila was born, when she was like 3 months old, I was home all the time. So we live near a TJ Maxx. So I went over to TJ Maxx and looking around, and I bought Mila a little book, a little crinkly book. They're into that stuff when they're little. And I got myself a candle. I spent maybe, I think, like $18 or something. By the time I reached into our driveway, I was pulling into our driveway, and he calls me, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, nothing. Actually, I just got back from TJ Maxx. He already knew that. I didn't know that he already knew that, but he was like, yeah, so what are you guys doing? And I'm like, yeah, we went to TJ Maxx, and Mila was, she was like looking around, and she found this little crinkly book. And as I'm talking, he's like, yeah, that's great, but you spent, $28 or whatever it was. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, I got a notification on my phone. Like, what are you doing just spending money? And I was like, well, what? What? And I got maternity leave money. I got around $6,000, because I worked. So I put into that. So I'm like, I can't spend $28. And he's like, listen, money's tight. It's like, yeah, money's tight. And I'm like, it is? And he's like, yeah. Weird because we just spent $300 for dinner to take your parents out, so why did we volunteer to pay for that if we're so hard out for money? But I was like, okay. So he told me to go return my candle. He told me to return it. So like a dumbass, I went and I returned the candle. I refused to return her little crinkly book because she's a baby, but I was so embarrassed, and the amount of like, what the F am I doing? I don't know if it was like postpartum. I don't know if I couldn't believe that this is the person that he had become, but that is not the person that I married. So there was so many emotions when I was returning my little candle. And I wanted clothes for work and stuff. It looked sweet. It looked really sweet. And this is why I talk about what I talk about, because it looks like from the surface really sweet. So he's like, okay, let's go. So we'd gone to the outlets and we're shopping, and he'd always whip out the card my money also went into. So it would always look like, wow, what a gentleman. Oh, she's so lucky. Like, he goes shopping with her, he's paying for her, he's going shopping with me to make sure that I'm not overspending in his eyes. He's going with me to make sure that I'm kind of following his guidelines. Not as far as clothes go. I bought what I want. I've always been a little bit more conservative. So that wasn't the issue. It was more or less that I'm not spending. In the last 7 years, I had some money prior to him, so I was lucky with that, but that has dwindled down to pretty much nothing. So it's time to get a job, which is fine. My dad was hanging on to some money for my dad had some money for me, and I've been kind of living off of that very, very frugally. Mila has everything that she needs, so not frugal in the sense of broke, frugal in the sense of just watching where money went, So this is pretty exciting for me, because it's like I get my little $200 or whatever it is, and I can do whatever I want with it. And no one's going to say anything. No one's going to Like, that's my little $200. You know how exciting that is? It's my little 200 bucks.